What's up, guys? So it's the 5th video of the 12 Days of Christmas. Today, I'm gonna answer this question. You know, for a second, I was like, 10 games? I really didn't think I was gonna be able to think of 10 games, because I tend to not really think of video games being turned into movies, as weird as that is. Because we would all like to see movie adaptations of our favorite games, but they've just always flopped so bad that I don't know, I'm just kind of like scared about it, and I'm always like, no, they shouldn't even try it. I mean, let's just think that we've got like a great production company, great director, and blah blah blah. That kind of made this list a little bit easier to think about. But my first one is definitely Half-Life. With video games and movies, I don't know if it's a good idea to stick to the story that's already established in the game and like just make it a remake, like kind of like they're doing with Mass Effect. I'm not too keen on that idea. I guess it's different for RPGs though, because you know, Shepard is not a determined character. You know, you determine the character. If they follow the storyline of Half-Life, awesome. And if they don't, if they maybe take another little route with Gordon Freeman or something like that, that might be cool too. But I think Half-Life just has a really cool environment and feeling to it for it to be a pretty cool movie. Another one that I'm really sure about, that I think that also has that same kind of environment, cool environment, and interesting story and all that, that could probably make a pretty good movie if you do it right, is BioShock. I think it would be kind of similar to Half-Life. That whole big brother feeling, and like somebody's watching over you and you're in this crazy environment that you really don't know what to expect, and it's just like, oh my god, it's all twisted and crazy, and BioShock has that. So I think BioShock could be really cool. On the whole idea of cool environment and the whole mysteriousness of it is Fallout. And I'm talking about Fallout 3 because Fallout 3 is pretty much the only Fallout game that I've ever played. Just the idea of being like in the wasteland, especially this kind of interpretation of the wasteland in Fallout 3, I thought was really cool, and I think it could be really interesting for a movie. I think if they do it right. Even if they don't follow the story of Fallout 3, Fallout is just a huge entity of itself that you could just sprout a bunch of different stories from it. But it should have the vault and the wasteland in the East Coast, like with Washington and all that, and you could see the White House, all those monuments and like ruins and stuff. I just love that. For the fourth one, and still in the topic of wastelands and all that, I would love to see Enslaved, an actual adaptation of the story of the game, like not changed or anything, like I was saying, like maybe you could make a different story for Fallout. No, but like the actual story of Enslaved, I could totally see that as a movie. There was like a book that it was based off of, and there may have already been a movie that was similar to it, but I want to see exactly an Enslaved movie, like with Monkey and Trip and, you know, all of them, like actual characters that look just like them. And I think that would be really cool. I love that game so much, so I would love to see it as a movie, and I think it could work. Halo, but it has to have Master Chief. That's one thing about Halo with me, is like, I like Halo, but if Master Chief isn't in it, I find it kind of like, I'm always more interested when Master Chief is involved than when he's not. When the Halo miniseries came out, Forward Unto Dawn, I was like, people kept on telling me, oh, you should watch it, it's pretty cool. And I watched a little bit of it, and I was like, I think I watched the first episode, and I was like, God. I was kind of bored with it, and I was like, it's about these kids, and My brother was watching it because he likes Halo. And then I saw something on YouTube, like this little preview for it, and I saw Spartan, and I was like, is that Master Chief? And I asked my brother, I was like, is Master Chief in this? And he was like, yeah. I was like, oh my god. And I watch it, and I was like, dude, this is so epic. For those of you that haven't seen Forward Unto Dawn, damn, it's so good, especially after Master Chief comes out. It's like, but yeah, I've always wanted to see a Halo movie with Master Chief in it, even before I saw Forward Unto Dawn. So that's why I was so excited when I knew that Master Chief was in Forward Unto Dawn. Grand Theft Auto 4, and I know that there's a Grand Theft Auto movie out there, but I want to see a rendition of Grand Theft Auto 4. Directed by Guy Ritchie. I mean, that game already feels like a Guy Ritchie movie, and I just think it would be so cool with your typical style of Guy Ritchie movies soundtrack. I mean, it would have to be changed though, because Guy Ritchie does like all those like really strong English accents and all that, which I would love to see in Grand Theft Auto. If he weren't to do a Grand Theft Auto 4, I would love to see him do a Grand Theft Auto movie that took place in England or something like that. Another one is this one that I have right here. Metal Gear Solid, I think, would be an awesome movie. They could freaking screw all these movies up if they don't do it right. If they have the whole, I don't know what that is. Why do video game movies suck? What is it, like some kind of virus that goes around or something? I mean, Metal Gear Solid already has this feeling of it being kind of like a movie. Especially like Metal Gear Solid 4. But I would love to see Snake Eater as a movie. I'm starting to play it already, and I was just imagining it as a movie, as if it were a movie, and I was like, dude, this would be pretty cool. Preferably Naked Snake. Maybe kind of like what Ground Zeroes is doing during that period, or Phantom Pain. Like that turned into a movie, that would be really, really cool. I'd love to see that. The next one might catch you guys off guard, but I think I had to add this one because of the environment and like the world and the style of the game and the feeling of it and just how that would transfer over to a movie is Starhawk. I think that would be really cool. I don't know. I think that would make a really good sci-fi. And then there's the Hawks, like the Starhawks, the ships that turn into like Gundams and stuff. That would be so cool. Oh my god. Like what's that movie? I completely blinked out. I have no idea what it's called now. A lot of gamers are going crazy about this trailer. It looks kind of like Cloverfield. It's got monsters, robots, and GLaDOS' voice. Not with the monsters and all that, but like the Gundam looking thing, like the walking mech. They could do that for Starhawk, and then it would like turn into a ship, and it's like, it's one of the reasons why I would love to see that as a movie. I'm really picky about modern day sci-fis because sci-fi has just taken a different type of feeling nowadays than what you would get like back then. And I'm not even talking about technology or anything like that. I'm just talking about the feeling of it. Like I miss that whole like the unexplored realms of space and like, you know, the mysteriousness about it, and that being the focus and not so much like the cool armor and like the black leather and like, oh my god, he's so hot, look how buff I am. I would like to see it more based on the environment and the feeling of it and what it has to offer when it comes to that. That'd be cool. These two I left for last because this one that I'm going to mention right now, I'm kind of conflicted. I would like to see it as a movie, but at the same time, I don't know. At the same time, I'm just like, man, they could really screw this up. And I know that they're already thinking about doing this movie. But, I mean, I had thought about this even before they had announced that they were even thinking about doing this movie. Deus Ex, in particular, Deus Ex Human Revolution. I would love to see the movie, but you'd have to be really, really, really careful with it because it's not just this cyberpunk game that could be transferred into a movie easily, because there's so many moral issues to it and so many personal decisions of the player that you could offer in the video game and not so much in a movie, that make Human Revolution so powerful. Is, what do you think? You know, it goes really deep into, what do you think? What would you do? How are you gonna do it? You know, it's even though it's not like a hardcore RPG, it still has a lot of RPG elements, and that's what I was saying, that RPGs, at least when it comes to me, this is all my opinion. They could be turned into movies, but I think they'd have to be really, really careful, more so than with any other movie or any other game that's not an RPG, because there's so much choice and customization in the video game that you wouldn't be able to have, obviously, in the movie. They'd have to make default choices and default storylines, which I could see working, but they just have to be really smart and really careful about how they do it in order to get that same kind of feeling from it, where you're just like, this is a Deus Ex movie for sure, and not just have it be some other cyberpunk movie. It's a deep game. It's a very deep game, and I just hope that they keep that defining characteristic of it for the movie. None of these are ordered as in like most wanted, or like I want this one more than this one and the last one is the one I least want. No, they're not in order. But this last one is something that I would love to see, that I've always wanted to see, and I think you guys could probably guess what it is. Mass Effect. There is no definitive Shepard. So how they're going to interpret Shepard and how they're going to interpret the world and everything and what he does, the choices he makes. I don't really like the idea that they're doing a rendition of Mass Effect 1. I kind of wish they would do a movie in the Mass Effect universe, but about something else. I'm a huge fan of, like, you know, fighter pilots and like space stations and like your Battlestar Galactica feeling and like your Rogue Squadron kind of style. I would like to see something like that, where you follow a main character that's probably like just joined the Alliance or something like that. Maybe during the Reaper threat, and you just hear about Shepard, and you hear, like, you could drop them within the storyline of Mass Effect 2, Mass Effect 3, but like a separate telling, you know, not using Shepard as a main character, but telling another story in the same timeline, and that way you could still get like cameos of, say, Garrus here and there or some of that, and a mentioning of Anderson, or maybe even coming in contact with Anderson, but just like hearing about Shepard somewhere or something like that. I'm nervous for that. I'm excited, but at the same time really nervous, because I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know how they're gonna do it. I'm just like, damn. And I just hope that they keep that, like I said about the other games, that defining characteristic, so that it doesn't feel like something completely different, and it doesn't feel like they're just appealing to wider audiences, and it doesn't feel like they're trying to adapt it to a modern day sci-fi where they're like, oh, look at his leather armor, oh my god. Before any of you ask, why didn't you have Dragon Age in your list? I know someone was gonna ask that, because you guys know how much I love Dragon Age. I actually would not like to see Dragon Age as a movie. I think Dragon Age could work as like a mini-series or some kind of TV show, kind of like Game of Thrones or something like that. For Dragon Age to work as a movie, they would have to have a lot of money. It would be a huge production in order for it to actually work. Because of the world, you can't pull it off with CGI. You could try, but you'll be able to tell. Like, say, Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings, the environments were pretty much, they weren't really CGI. There were parts that were CGI, but they were able to find a great filming place, which was New Zealand. With sci-fis, of course, a lot of it's going to be CGI anyways, which is it's something that we know about sci-fis. Game of Thrones is a TV show, but it has so much production value to it that just makes it look top notch. I would want to see that as a TV show, and not have it be so constricted by a movie, because there is so much to Dragon Age that it could get constricted in the movie realm, that the TV realm or miniseries realm would give it a little more breathing area, and you could add more things to it, and I don't know, I just think it would work better, in my opinion. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know what 10 video games you would turn into a movie. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later.